Hi, everybody. I just want to examine one of your classmates' posts that I thought was exceptional. Sorry about my squeaky chair. Exceptional this week. And explain to you why I think it's exceptional, and maybe this will help you in the future as you're writing discussion board posts. I'm not saying that your posts were awful this week. They weren't. But I think there's ways that you can interject more of who you are in the posts rather than writing a dry academic response. I mean, you do have to be academic in the terms of supporting your point, but you do not need to be so formal that I don't see what you're feeling and thinking. And this student said, well, first of all, he starts off really light, hola everybody, and or everyone, and he's really got this, kind of loosens you up a little bit before you get to the actual meeting. And he says, so the meaning behind fog didn't hit me until I got to the part where Rizal talked about how the SS treated small children that served no real purpose to labor camps. And so he's already set the tone and he set the main idea of the paper, of the post, right in that first line. And that's what you should be doing. What is your answer summed up in one sentence that you could put in the first line? And then he gives me detail was what stuck out to me most was when he talked about while on the march he saw SS tossing babies in the air and using them for target practice. I just could not get over the mental image that came with that thought. So there, not only is he explaining what upset him, but he is, and how night and fog was affecting him, was he couldn't get over that mental image, and I see a little bit of his emotion, feelings. And then he explains a little bit more about Night and Fog. I had watched Night and Fog, and I had watched the images that flashed before me of Jews lined up just to be shot and then dumped into a massive pit filled with corpses. So when I got to this part while Rizal talks about what he saw with the children, that was all I could think about. People lined up just to be killed, some of them acting like robots at that point from exhaustion. So he gives me a little more detail there, and then he goes, and this is where he relates what he's read to himself, and that's, I think, the strongest part of the post. I can't even begin to imagine what life might have been like. I can't even begin to imagine the daily struggles the people face day in and out. Then he goes on and he talks about what those struggles were. Forced labor, starvation, and then to the very end, Rizal had to make his father fight, and that was a moving part of the memoir as well. What really hit home was when Rizal talked about SS targeting over mass graves. And then he ends, honestly, that's all I have to say. I don't even want to think about that more than I have to. So I get a lot of emotion in this. Yes, I get bits and pieces from the book. And maybe he could have added some quotes and referred back to particular parts and used page numbers as to where it came from. But it's that emotion that he added into what he was saying that I think makes me relate to his post rather than a post that does give me a lot of detail, but it's like an academic paper rather than a discussion that's going on.